Hey guys, this is one of the first tutorial videos for Project X where I'm just kind of baby stepping you through some basic things to kind of get you started. And one of the aspects of a project that I always do immediately is when you're looking at a template, let's go to the home page. A template is usually going to have some images. So check this out. We can kind of see that the images kind of pop up, after you roll over them, it looks like. And I want to just kind of understand the dimensions of those images and where they're all going. And so this is just something that I used to do a lot with templates back in the day, and I want to show you guys this trick. So I'm going to come over here. There's an images folder, and there's the logo right here. It says logo.svg, and then there's pics 1 through 12. Okay. And I want you to realize, look at this is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. So picks 1 through 12, I'm guessing, are in this area right here. And then there's also this generic page that has this image banner at the top. So we're going to be using this as well. But I just kind of want to show you guys how you can go in and, sometimes a website is a little bit more complicated than this. So you want to create um, some real you want to create a clear trail to understanding what images are corresponding to what place on the website. So I'm going to be using Photoshop, and I'm also going to be giving you a quick tutorial on cropping images with Photopea in a separate video, because you may want to find some images of your own work or whatever to sort of format your experiment, your web experiment, okay? But in the meantime, let's just do this really fast. So I've selected images 1 through 12. I'm going to go to right click, and then I'm going to open with in Photoshop. Okay. And in Photoshop, you can see the pixel dimensions by coming up here to image and then going to image size. And you can see where it says dimensions right here, it says 353 by 326. So I've actually written that down on a just scratch piece of paper on my desk area because I need to remember that number very, very clearly, okay? So 353 by 326, okay? And I also want to note that this one is pick 12, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to pick 1. It's a slightly different color, but I'm guessing if I go to image and then go to image size, it's also going to say 353 by 326, okay? And look at 72 DPI, which is what we need. So I'm going to blow this up, and because I want the breadcrumbs to be really clear, I'm going to um, one second, guys. Okay. I'm going to use my brush tool. So I'm going to hit B on the keyboard, bring up the brush tool, and I'm actually just going to write directly on the image. I'm going to write pick 1, and then I'm going to save it. Hit Command 0 so I can see everything. Pick 2, save it, and close it. This is pick 3, and I can see from like the file name up here on the tab. Pick 3, save. Pick 4, save and close. Pick 5, save and close. Make sure you're labeling the right one. So now I'm on pick 6 right now. Pick 6. And it doesn't have to look fancy because we're going to be replacing these images later. I'm just kind of trying to show you guys how this kind of thing can help you to understand your template. Pick 7. Pick, whoops, my handwriting's getting progressively worse here, guys. Pick 9. Pick 10. Pick 11. And whoop, this one is, I think I made a mistake somewhere, guys. Whoop, this one is actually pick 10. So, double check my work. One moment, guys. So pick 11. This is the one that I made a mistake with. So I have to reopen this one. Yeah, that's not pick 10. No worries. Pick 12. Yay, we fixed it. So now these have been modified. And now let's see what happens when I go back and save this template or look at this. So now check that out. I can see that the picks are now reading with my handwriting, or like what I did with the brush tool back here. Okay. All right. So that just kind of helps me to understand. Okay, look at this is very much in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yay. And you guys, my plan um, for doing some work here was I was going to replace 6 of these images with cute cats and 6 of these images with angry cats. And I'm going to use the exact same JPEG, like the name of the file will remain pic01 or pic02 or pic03, just to kind of make things a little easier on my end, okay? So if I scroll back, I did create an assets folder for angry cats and cute cats. So let's see here. I'm going to pull up one angry cat in Photoshop. And I'm going to make that, I think pick 7, but first I need to crop it correctly. So I'm going to show you guys this, how to do this in Photoshop if you happen to have it. Okay, so I'm going to hit C for crop. And then up in the top left-hand corner, I need to type in 353 and 326. And so look, it crops the image a little bit differently, and I'm going to make it slightly smaller. Hit crop. Then I'm going to go to File, Export, Save for Web. I want to make sure the image size is what I need it to be, and I need it to be 353 by 326, right? So it'll fit properly. So that's why, because I didn't crop to pixelation, I cropped to aspect ratio. So when I'm exporting, I have to make sure it exports at the dimension that the template needs. And that's why I came down here under image size and I typed in 353 and then 326. Okay. So now I'm going to save. And it's actually going to ask me, where would you like to save this? And let's see, I'm waiting for my hard drive to sort of spin up. Hold on 1 second, it'll show up here in a moment because I don't want to put it where it was. I'm actually going to start replacing images in the template with the new ones very carefully, okay? So I'm going to go to BDN, teaching. We've got to go through this process, folks, courses. That's why it's very important to know where all your stuff is too. So images. I'm just going to select this, not pick one because that's my cute cats. Cute cats 1 through 6 are the cute ones, and I just cropped an angry cat. So that's going to be pick 7. And watch, if I just click it, it just inherits the file name. And all I have to do is hit save and then replace. Now, I'm just kind of curious. I like checking my work. Let's see what happened here. 1 second, guys. Always a technical error. Oh, I hope I saved it in the right location because I've got a few of these things going on. Check my Finder. Well, that's frustrating. I don't know where I saved. I thought I saved it in the right place, but it did not. Up. It's pick 7. Okay, so it is there. See, like little things, guys. You get kind of lost in these projects really easily, as I just did, and it's okay. So let's go back to the home page, and it wasn't pick 1 that was supposed to be replaced, and it was pick 7. And look at it, it's working. There's our cute kitty cat photo with like this blue overlay, which is working fine. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them in Photoshop. And I know this video might get a little bit lengthy, but at least you'll see. Okay. So, okay. So maybe I'll do angry cats in Photoshop and I'll do cute cats in the free Photopia for you all. So this is a pretty quick process. So again, I need to go back to I created an assets folder for separate assets. You don't want to because there was already this assets folder. So I created an assets folder called assets dot or excuse me dash Bollinger. Okay. And so that's the first one that I used. And I'm going to use this one, open with Photoshop. And I already have my 353 by 326 aspect ratio plugged in. And so I'm going to go ahead and just crop it by hitting enter. And I'm going to go to File, Export, Save for Web. This is a slightly larger image. And so again, currently it's saying 632 by 584, which is the correct aspect ratio. But I need to reduce this to 353 by 326. And not only that, but I don't want to save it in the same location. I need to save it in the location where the website is reading the file. So I need to come in here to images. There's pick 7. This is going to be pick 08 for an angry cat. Replace. Close that out. I don't think I need to save it because it's already been saved as. Now, if I go back to my template and hit Command R for refresh, check that out. Now I've got my second angry cat down here. Eventually I'll go in and I'll rename this stuff, but I'm trying to take things one step at a time with you all. So let's do pick 9 real quick. Oh, so pick 9 would just be like the next grumpy cat, right click. This is a really high quality image. It's 1440 by 980, so we're gonna have to squinch it down quite a bit. Okay, so that's the correct aspect ratio. That's the famous grumpy cat. I think that cat passed away like maybe like 5 years ago. That was kind of sad. Uh, file, um, export, save for web. Um, and then again, I've written down the pixel dimensions on a scratch piece of paper on my desk. So I always know it's 353 by 326. Hit save. It's remembering where I'm putting the images as far as the location. So I've done 7, I've done 8, now I need to do 9. Notice how when I click it, it just inherits um, the file name. And by the way, I'm working on a Mac. And so if you're working on a PC, you really need to like just make sure. I'm very familiar with the Mac OS, and so I'm assuming that PC folks and Windows folks are more familiar, but you really need to make sure that your file names are exact. Otherwise, HTML is just not going to work. Okay, so if you have to type it out, then do that. Okay, on a Mac, you can just click on a file and it'll inherit like the syntax no problem. So pick '09, I'm going to replace, say yes. Now I'm guessing. Do like going back and just kind of checking my work, and I hit refresh, and so now I've got Grumpy Cat here. It's really that easy. Look at this. We're already starting to make this website kind of like fun for you, for yourselves. Okay, so we got three more. Um, open with Photoshop, file, export, save for web. Check my note, 353 by 3. Oop, this one's a little bit different. So I'm gonna have to squinch this one a little bit, 326. Notice how I turned off that little link icon right there to do that. Okay, guys. So, but yeah, that one was a little bit tricky. So, but I want it to remain 353 by 326. And then I'm going to inherit the next file name, which is, so I did 7, 8, 9. Next one is 10. Replace, don't save. So instead of doing some review, I'm just going to quickly do these last two. This one's already the right aspect ratio. That's nice. File, export, save for web, 353 by 326. So like obviously now it says Meowie Jane's cat. I mean, these are the previous file names. In order for the HTML to work, the file name needs to correspond with the code in the index file, right? I mean, we know this at this point. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe we need to do 11. And then here's 12. I'm going to move this one up a little bit so we can see this Grumpy Cat's profile a little bit better. File, export, save for web, 353, because I have that note on my desk so I can see it really clearly. I need to replace this file name. So I'm going to scroll over down to 12, hit save, replace. Okay, so let's see if we've got 6 Grumpy Cats. I'm going to hit Command R for refresh. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got these Grumpy Cats down here. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing up here, except I'm going to have cute cats. Okay. So um, recently I found this really fun resource online. It's browser based and it's called Photopea, PHOTOPEA.com. So if you type it in, it's all browser based. Okay. And we want to open from computer. And I had my angry cats folder in my own assets folder, but I also have a cute cats folder. So I'm going to check out some cute cats. And I'm going to hit C for crop. And Photopea looks very, very similar to Photoshop. And it's totally free. Um, you need to type in, like right now, right here it says free, but let's go ahead and say fixed size and type in 353 by 326. And we also want it to be 72 DPI. Okay. And then you can kind of grab these handles and move things around. Okay. And then when you're ready, hit the little checkbox up here. Okay. And then we're going to come over here to File, Export as JPEG. And this is kind of a, hold on, I want to cancel out of this. I don't know why it's doing that. I need to go back to, so it's not Photoshop, but it still works. I wanted to get rid of that thing. So what I did is I went back to this arrow tool, the selection or move tool up at the top. So now if I have this cropped, so just to remind you, the crop icon is right here on the left-hand side, the crop tool, and you'll even notice, like if you're familiar with Photoshop, the interface and the tools look quite similar. So the crop tool is on the far left. We've already done the crop though, so we don't need to do that. So we can hit escape and get out of there. The crop tool is still here, and that was the rectangle that was driving me crazy. So if you want to get rid of that, just go back to the move tool. Okay, but this is cropped and ready to go. And even like, the shortcuts work the same too. So if I hit Command 0, you can see it all. You can zoom out, you can zoom in, you can hit Command 0. So it's very similar to Photoshop. Okay. File, export as a JPEG. And notice how it says 353 and 326, and it should be 72 DPI. Okay. Because I mean, 72 DPI is basically like at the end of the day, we just need to see that this is approximately 353 by 326. Okay, folks. Then click Save. And let's just kind of double check our work on this end. Let's go back to QCat. Let me just do that one more time, just to make sure we're getting this right. So export as JPEG. Okay. I think you have to define a location. So So by default, it's just kind of dropping things over here. So it doesn't look like it's browser based. As soon as you save, it just kind of like immediately just downloads it to your folder. And so on my Mac, I can have, so I'm going to open up a separate Finder window so I can drag this cute cat over. Okay. So here's my recent, check it out. Now, remember, the file names need to remain what they need to be. And so this is pick one. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it over here. And remember, when you're doing this, you got to be really careful because you need it to say pic01 period JPG. Okay. It has to be exact. So this is what the website is looking at on the right-hand side. And it says pic01.jpg. There's the cute cat we just cropped, pic01.jpg. And I'm going to delete this one, drag this over. Okay. And let's test to see if the website is going to cooperate and recognize our cute kitty cat. So hit Command R to refresh, and yes, it worked. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to do some more just for fun. So Assets Bollinger is where I have my original cats that I had downloaded. And whoops, by default, I was going to Photoshop. So we need to come over here to the browser-based Photopia. Let's close that out. We no longer need it. Open from computer. Click here. It's going to my cute cats folder, thankfully. And here's the second cute cat I want to work with. I'm going to hit C. Ooh, I guess the command for C for crop is not working. There it goes. Okay, so it does work. The shortcut for crop when you're using Photopia does work. So hit C for crop. And you can move this around. And of course, we want it to be a little bit bigger. And it's remembering 353 by 326 and 72 DPI. And so get in there and capture the cat really closely. Okay. It's a nice profile and blue eyes. And then hit the little checkbox here. There's that annoying rectangle. So I'm going to go back up to the move tool. Now go to File, Export as JPEG. And it is 353 by 326. So I'm just going to save. Okay. So you guys, I'm just gonna do the photo crop, the cropping work really quickly on these guys. So I can, that was the second one, because I'm just trying to like automate some processes here. Here's the third cute cat. Oops. Hit C for crop. Gotta expand this quite a bit so that the kitty cat's face is in full view. And then like arrange things. Doesn't need to be perfect. This is just kind of us having fun. File, export as JPEG. Of course, I mean, there are other file types here, but the web template that we're working with, they're asking for JPEGs. So why make our lives more difficult? Let's just stick with JPEGs for the time being. I mean, you may have to change it down the road for whatever reason, but for right now, keep it JPEG, okay? So that's QCat number 3. All right. Let's do a fourth kitty cat. Hit C for crop. File, export, save as JPEG. Save. It looks like you can define the file type or the file name when you're exporting, but I'm going to do that after the fact. So I'll go back and I'll modify these new JPEGs after I export them. I'm always a little bit more comfortable doing like batch operations. Okay, so if we go back to our downloads folder, where I think these guys should be here. Yeah, there's our cute cats kind of piling up right here. So we already dragged that one over. But we've got these are the 3 new ones right there. Okay. And if I wanted to, I could even drag those over right now, but I'm gonna wait. I always get ahead of myself. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the next one, number 5. Right click, open with. And of course, I'm going into Photoshop mode when in fact I'm using Photopea. Open from computer. I like how it remembers the last place where you were opening things. That's helpful. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our next cute cat. Hit C for crop. Oh, and because I closed out my window, I have to type in this information again, but that's no big deal. So, but it's a nice opportunity to go back and say we want a fixed size. So we want it to be 353 by 326, and we want the DPI to be 72. Okay. And then we can grab this and kind of arrange it. This photo has a watermark, by the way, on it, which doesn't bother me right now because this is just an exercise. But you do need to be wary of images that you download from online because oftentimes they have these watermarks on them. So hit OK. Now go to File, Export as JPEG. This is where you can adjust the name, but I think I mentioned that I want to do that afterwards. So I'm just going to hit Save. Okay. And I'm going to see what happened. Um, I closed out this window because I hit Command W and that closed out the browser tab. But actually, if you want to close out this cat, you have to come over here and click that little X. Okay, and then you can open up a new one. Okay. These guys are cute. Okay. So just select it and then hit open, hit C for crop. This image has substantial better quality. That's why it looks a little bit larger compared to the crop area, but you can expand it. Now we've got 2 cats in the view. Click it, boom, file, export as JPEG 353 by 326, and it says pixels here. Yay. Save. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the images folder and I need to start making some adjustments basically. So pick 1 is already done. I need this to be pick 2. Pick 3. And so uh, the way that you guys are doing this on your computer, it might look a little bit different, but the principle remains the same. We're essentially trying to replace the images or the original images that the website template was pointing to with your own new images, okay? And The file name needs to be the same. The file type needs to be the same. The file size needs to be the same. Everything needs to be the same, okay? And so currently there's 2 and 3. So if I wanted to, I could just simply delete 2 and 3. And then I'm going to drag these guys over. No, I know I don't need these, so I don't want to confuse myself, so I'm deleting them. So 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 are done. Now I need to grab 4, 5, 6. So 4. And I'm just transferring the name titles over to these new files by copying and pasting. Pretty simple. Yeah, look at these guys. Super cute. On a Mac, you can check the file size. You can do it in Photoshop, but you can also right click. So if I right click and then go to Get Info, this will indeed show you that the image, I don't know if you guys can see on my screen because I know it might be a little bit small, but it says 353 by 326 when this sort of like this has all the metadata associated with the image, which can be really handy. Okay, so 4, 5, and 6, right click, move to trash. Now I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. Okay. Wow. That was fun and easy, but I want to double check my work. So let's go back to my browser, go back to the template and hit Command R for refresh. And now I've got 6 cute cats. And the images have been replaced. And I kind of gave you a few tips on how to do that. Okay. Um, So I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. I'm trying to take things one step at a time, but in this circumstance, we were having some fun with images. There is actually one more image that we're going to need for the generic page, and there's going to be a page for cute cats, and there's also going to be a page for angry cats. So we're going to be using this generic page to replace this image and kind of set up some ducks for this website. We also need to swap out, of course, like do some work on the logo. And if you want to, you can replace this text with your own text. But I think you guys are starting to get the gist of this. You can find a website template that has things kind of set up for you, and then you can start to tinker and change and have some fun. Okay. So I'm going to end here. Thank you. See you on the other side.